Let's start with today I'm going to explain about the UML diagram. This is one of the very major areas constantly any BAs will be keep on working. The reason for going for diagrams is it's easy to convey the message to any developers, avoid additional misinterpretation of documents. So we can save time by communicating in the right manner to the multiple audiences. That's the purpose of coming up with UML diagrams. So let's start with the first slide. The first picture, a picture is worth 1,000 words. So of course, I hope you agree with me. It's
Yes.
any people can easily understand through picture rather than going for a multiple page documentation. Technically, normally they're saying that a picture can is equal to almost 457 words.
Okay.
So it refers to a classic notion that a complex idea can be conveyed with a easy just a single picture. Personally, I also feel it's better than a lot of written words. I'm more of an old school person. It's like I draw on the user visual. I draw multiple user visual diagrams and visual representations, so that we can have a better understanding and we can identify the possible flaws and errors in the business process. Just from my personal understanding, whatever I have collected from the client team, I'll be initially putting up with the representations, visual representations, either in a simple flowchart or using the available tools, so
Okay.
that it would be much more easier for me to explain to the other colleagues and understand the process followed over there. Since the reason for going at UML is since the software development that is in IT started, most of the software development is a teamwork. It is more important for them to it is very important to make every member of team to be in the same page. Making the team to understand the workflow using a document is more time consuming, and there is a very high chance they will be misinterpreting in a very different manner. To avoid such kind of chaotic situation which normally happens with every team, a software development team, and to convey the workflow in a very simple terms, we go for any type of visual representation. But out of all visual representation, one of the standardized visual representation is UML diagrams.
Okay.
So the UML stands for, yeah, Unified Modeling Language. UML is a way of visualizing a software program using the uh, collection of diagrams. Added the ability to define a hierarchy and decompose a software system into components and subcomponents. The key to making UML diagram is connecting the shapes that represent an object or class with other shape to illustrate the relationship and the flow of information and diagram. Oh, that's true. It's like a very basic understanding. It just says visualize. It's a UML is another way, another channel or another way of visualizing a software program, so that developers can easily understand. And the most key things in UML is connectors, connecting shapes that are and other objects, other shapes which represent. There are plenty of shapes in UML that illustrates the relationship and the flow of information and data. This is about UML. And going deep, it's like I'll give you one small history about UML. It was developed by three software developers from a company called Rational Software during the time of 1994. Till 96, they were following internally within the company, and from 97, it was globally many multiple MNCs and multiple project management teams started to implement UML in their programs, in their day-to-day activities. So initially, UML were used by software engineers rather than BAs. At the time, there were no designation called BAs. Most of the engineers with decent experience, software engineers, were called in the name of system analyst, who are taking care of this diagrams, who are taking care of documentations. So this is the small history about UMLs. Where are UML diagrams used? So two important places I would say in the UML diagrams are extensively used. One is in the forward design and in the backward design. Forward design is the place it's a sketching of visual flow charts before coding the project, before initiating the uh, process. It is done to get a better view of the system or the workflow that you are trying to create. Many design issues or flaws can be revealed, thus improving the overall project health and well-being. So while putting up the process in a diagram, any people can follow. They'll be asking multiple questions. During the question process, you can identify where the issue is, and in case if the real issue is if there is a real issue in the project or in the process, you can consult with the client team and you can sort it down even before starting, saving time and resources for your IT team.
Okay.
Then next place where we use back is backward design. That is after completion of the product, we will be while delivering, we will be coming up with the documentation to the clients. So for them, it's like when rather than coming up with the multiple documents, I hope you might have seen, you might have experienced when you purchased many electrical appliances, you will be delivered with instruction sheet. Hardly I have seen people going through these sheets. So rather than going through a documentation, it would be easy for them if the instructions are given in a systematic UML diagrams.
Yeah.
That's the two places where, yeah, that's the two places where excessive UML diagrams are used. And the other thing is we cannot cover every single details in the UML diagrams. It just offers a top level view or holistic view, just an outline of the process. Yes,
Okay.
so there are multiple in backend. There are multiple elements are used, multiple variables, multiple parameters are called. So we cannot cover every single thing. Just an outline, just for the understanding. That's it.
No,
That's where.
I had a doubt regarding this forward design and backward design. So basically, you have an idea, right? Like, actor is an user, so he logins, enters password, and tries to select one a device, pays for it, and that's how the flow goes. That's how the client tells you that this is how I need a website. So what is the difference between writing the code, writing UML diagrams before the code and after the code? So the flow is different, the same, right?
See, I mean that forward design is any designs which are designed before starting the process or the work, and backward design is excessively meant for the understanding for the clients. It's like while you're delivering project, you have to give an explanation how the project works. It's not only for client, for your understanding also.
Okay.
That's the difference between backward design. Yes, of course, whatever you said is right. It's like actors roles. It's more of elements, classes, objects.
Okay.
So it's like that the same thing will be used in both the places, forward design and backward design. It
Okay.
doesn't mean that we will be using this kind of elements only in the backward design. It will be used in both the backward. I haven't mentioned those elements in the forward design, but it will be used more. It's like 90%, and we will be going for 90% diagrams or UMLs will be used only in the forward design.
Okay.
Very slightly, very few places will be using backward design.
Okay.
So this is the two major areas where UML diagrams are used. So there are two types of UML diagrams. One is structural UML diagrams and behavioral UML diagrams. So the list of behavioral UML diagrams are activity diagram, sequence diagram, use case diagram, state diagrams, communication diagram, interaction overview diagrams, timing diagrams. Out of this all, I would say this is use case diagram, activity diagram, sometimes sequence diagrams. Out of three, even I would say activity diagram will be the one which you will be using multiple times. It's like
Okay.
without knowingly you will be you even I will start working designing an activity diagram. Individually I will explain. Today I will try to cover all 7 topics and give a sample how use cases diagrams are worked and what are the elements we use. using elements, how we should be more creative. So I will try to focus only on use case diagram today, and I will try to cover all other 6 diagrams.
Okay.
Maybe in following sessions, I will go through, but today I will try to focus more on use case diagrams.
Yeah, I heard a lot about it. Yeah, use case diagrams.
Yeah, it's cool.
So use case diagram is a subset of UML diagrams, right?
Yep, exactly. That's right. You might be just having a question why we need to have multiple different types of diagram. So while designing a car or designing a vehicle or any parts in an automobile company, so it's like initially during the creative or architecting phase, they'll be just coming up with the wireframe. Even they might not be aware how exterior, how the finished product will be looking. So this is a sample example how wireframe will be designed. It doesn't have any other images. It's like it's just shows the schema, the outline picture of the particular car. And the
Okay.
second one shows a car where the headlights will be coming, how the shapes will be, even in an enhanced manner. It comes up with the additional colors. In the third phase, you will be looking into details. So how the rims will be looking, how the windshields will be looking with additional gradients, additional striking images. This is third. And the fourth is advanced detailing. In this place, you are adding reflections, shadings, etc. And the final phase is finished final image, where you can see the finishing touches, headlights, background, everything you can easily see in this picture. The
Mm.
most frequent used ones in software development are use case diagrams, class diagrams, and sequence diagrams. So these are the 3 areas normally, but I would say I would include activity diagrams also. So that is I will explain. I will start working from activity diagrams. So this is a sample activity diagram. Activity diagrams are probably the most important UML diagrams for doing business process modeling. It's like once you visit or once you visit the client place or internal stakeholders, just for your basic understanding and for communicating purpose, you will be coming up with this kind of images. So this is the sample. Let me see. Okay, this is the sample activity diagram. It is about order processing. So for example, assume that you are purchasing a burger from McDonald's. In McDonald's, the first thing would be a placing order, receiving confirmation. Once you place the order for a king size burger, you'll be just example any food items. You will receive a confirmation that is in the mode of a receipt or a slip, and after taking the slip and showing it to the other staffs, they will be taking order from you, and the process order will be processed. And currently the company's process is divided into 4 different areas. Customer handling, the first column says about customer, and the second column says about ordering, and third one accounting, fourth one is about shipping. And these are the areas, multiple contact points within the company. So these it's like we are trying to create a relationship between every modules within the company. So this is how, for easy understanding, this is how normally activity diagrams are segregated into columns and connecting the modules within the diagrams. So it's like in software development, it is generally used to describe the flow of different activities and actions. This can be both sequentially ordered or in parallelly it can be ordered. They describe the objects, list of objects used, consumers are produced, or how it's like what is consumed, what is produced by an activity, and the relationship between the different activities. This is about the activity diagram. We have a separate session on how to draw what are the elements used, what are the relationship factors available. Everything will go a bit deep. So I'm just going through the basic thing about the diagram. Today's agenda is to focus only on use cases.
Okay.
Second one is a use case diagram. Use case diagrams are used to analyze the system's high level requirements. Yes, I agree. It's like within the circular containers, we express, it's like if you open a this is a circuit container, and these are other actors. For example, this image shows how a stock exchange, sorry, how a basic business operates. Here, there are three different types of actors. We call them as actors. So, actors one is our owner, second one is supplier, third one is manager, fourth one is inspector, and fifth one, sorry, I mentioned three, but we have five different actors in this. For the easy understanding, we have come up with use case diagram where we are trying to relate actors with their actions. So if you look into it, with the circle, we have a circular containers which expresses the actions that normally an actors perform. Such actors are, for example, in here, the actions are purchasing and paying for the stock, checking the stock quality, returning the stock in case if there is any defects, and distributing it. These are the list of actions which we have covered within the circle container. As you might have noticed, use case UML diagrams are good for showing the dynamic behavior between the actors within a system. It also simplifies the view of the system, and it doesn't reflect the insight details for implementation. It just shows you a easy overview how the particular actors and how what's the behavior with the existing system. This is about use case diagrams. It's like I would say in if use case diagrams are used extensively in banking and insurance sectors than in other areas, in healthcare too.
So basically, there would be so actors would be there, right? And okay.
Please go ahead. Yes,
Now,
I'm
can you see the
listening.
previous picture? So it shows the overall flow of the overall business flow, right?
Yes, exactly. That's right.
Okay.
It shows the overall outline, top level view. It's more similar to action plan, but activity diagram, but it's like it's you can easily relate the list of activities an actor is performing. This will be more helpful for understanding the conditions by the developers. So what are the list of works they are doing? It's like there are few actors, but if you look into this, the owner is nowhere related to distribution.
Yeah, that's
Though
what.
he
I
may
do
be,
not see
yeah.
any connection from the supplier to the inventory or the inspector or the manager. There's no connection at all.
That's right. So in case if the ITTD team is working as per the users work, as per the process followed in this chart, they can come up with the user roles, their privileges, their access level.
Okay.
I would say it's like we need to go for multiple diagrams. This one is just for communication purpose. So in case if you're implementing the same process as a tool means definitely owner will be having privileges to monitor the distribution also. He'll be looking into the inventory management. He will be seeing what is the current stock, what is the current stock, what are the stocks which left the warehouses. Everything he should be monitoring. He's like a super admin, but a manager will be having very limited access to view the stocks level. That's it. It's like
Okay.
he cannot be seeing the what stocks are being purchased, what's the stock value which were purchased, so what was the payment made by the owner to the supplier. So this is
Okay.
how we have to break up.
So
It's
here it's
like
mentioned include, and extend. What does it include and extend mean?
include means yes, this is he's not restricted only to the purchase stocks. His work also include payment for stocks.
Okay.
So
So the extend means it will be like
exclude means we have to come up with another dotted line between return stock and payment stock, and where we have to mention exclude in the same fashion. so that the programmers can understand that managers shouldn't be at any cost, they shouldn't be allowed to access any sort of related to this circle, to this particular elements.
Okay, here it's mentioned extend. Extend is same thing exclude or
Extended, it's like extended additional access,
okay, fine.
additional privileges for them. It's like
Okay,
inspector is not only, it's like they are not only restricted to view quality control of stock, but also they are supposed to check in the defective products.
okay,
That is why it has mentioned extended access. Extended access include, then exclude. There are plenty of things available. It's
okay,
like it's like you shouldn't be playing only with the list of text available. You can feel free. Sometimes what I'll do is I'll be adding three different types of dotted line separator, so that it would be much more easier to convey the message. You're just like trying to break the stages in a row wise.
okay,
So it would be, it's like the first row will be the dealing between owner and supplier. Second, it's the high operational level where manager takes care of the process, and the third level is between inspector, and the fourth level would be inventory clerk who
okay,
distributes it. So yeah, it's all about our creativity.
okay,
And the second thing, it's like another image I have found it from internet. It's like it says about it's like a online shipping system. If you look into the front face of the website is customer. He normally visit the website. He views item as per the needs. He'll be looking into the list of products which are published in the website, and his work includes not only viewing, his work is additionally extended to making payments also. Once he adds the product to the cart, once he confirms it, he'll be making the payment and completing the checkout. So these are the three areas that are a bit interrelated and are included. And the first one is login. It should be coming in the first phase, even before viewing items, and the checkout process. Sorry, making purchase and login should be in. It should be connected, so that we are offering two types of option before making payment. Either make the process make the transaction as a guest, or asking him to log in for better personalization of the transaction process.
okay.
So it's like maybe we'll come up with we'll work on the same online shopping method. Okay. Okay, so the other things are there are another four different actors are related to this. So service authentication, identity provider, credit card service. PayPal, I would say it's not only PayPal, it's any payment gateway. Service authentication is about once the checkout transaction is completed, the banking authority have to verify the tangible authentication. They have to authenticate the transaction made by the customer. Identity provider is internal, like using email ID. They try to create an identity. Credit payment service, these are other different types of all. It's like I would rather than going for multiple actors, we can just mention as payment gateways or banking systems, so that
Okay.
all three names are almost the same, but they are called in very different names. This is a random diagram, but it has to be much more streamlined. The order has to be properly put in.
Yeah,
So
right.
here the major issue is login shouldn't be coming under as the fourth process.
Yeah.
Sample. This is just a sample.
Okay,
And
fine.
interactive. Yeah. The third diagram comes under UML diagram is interactive overview diagram. It's like I would say it's just a extended diagram of activity diagram.
Okay.
So like activity, this is activity diagram, and this is a sample interactive overview diagram. So I think I will be having one more here. So this is extended activity in interactive overview diagram. So this is about this is about interactive overview diagram is an activity diagram made up of different interaction diagrams. Let's say that it's a mix of activity diagram with interaction diagrams. It is regarded as a specialized diagrams. What this means is that you can use most of the notations. Okay. The interactive overview diagrams provide an overview of the flow of control where nodes of the flow are interactions or the interaction users. In some places, it relegates these diagrams as interaction diagrams, while in other cases, interaction overview diagrams are referred as a specialization of activity diagrams. Like it do sometimes look like activity diagrams that can only have inline interactions or interaction users instead of innovative actions. The inline interactions and interaction users are considered as a special forms of call behavior. If you look into this diagram, it requires a branching. You can see a lot of branching, joining of branches. There are interaction overview diagrams or proper. If you look into it, there are plenty of nesting things are available. You'll look into it while working on every single diagrams. I will explain what is nesting, what is sort of branching. For in view diagrams, we don't use the term called branching, but in very few cases we'll be using separators, extend. There are. I will go into details one by one. So that's it about interactive overview diagram. So it's like it's a high end. It's like the following elements. If you look into this diagram, it has a subset of activity diagram. That's a small area which is very similar to activity diagrams. So it's like interaction overview diagram. It has an initial node. It has there are plenty of nodes in it. I will explain you what is node in the future classes.
Okay.
Next is timing diagram. Timing diagrams is of course the timing diagrams. Sometimes you have to come up with some the timing diagram, but this is more for a project management team. It's like timing diagrams normally represent what is the relationship of the object and what it's like when the center of attention rests on time. It's like we are not interested in how the objects interact or how they communicate between each other, but the importance of this timing diagram is how objects and actors act along with the time frames, a linear time axis.
Okay.
Each individual participant is represented through a lifeline in this diagram. In the sample next diagram, it's like forming steps. If you look into the steps, how they are it's like a sample explanation, but we will be working on even much more higher end timing diagrams. This is stages of life. It's like infant between 0 to 28 days, toddler between 1 to 12 months, adolescence is between 12 to 18. So these are the list of stages in a life, but it will be much more similar to it. I will come up with even better timing diagrams. State machine UMLs. State machine UML diagrams, also referred as state chart diagrams, are used to describe the different stages of the component within a system. It takes the name state machine because of the diagram is essentially a machine that describes the several states of an object, how it changes between internal and external events. So this is how it works. I had a chance of working in this kind of state machine UML diagrams for we were working with one lift company, elevators company. If you look into elevators, normally there will be two elevators for easy access. So every floor will be having two different buttons. So say you are standing in 8th floor and your friend is staying in 6th floor, and the lift both lifts are in ground floor. So as per the click of your button, there will be two buttons. As per the conditions, there are tons and tons. Though people think that lift is so easy to operate, there are a lot of, it's like I have seen taking sometimes months to complete one project as
Yeah, I
per the
used to get confused
customization.
with the lifts. I was like, I need to go up. Should I press up button or the lift is down? Should I press downward? So I used to get a lot of confusion Well,
Exactly.
yeah, well, click on the button.
Mhm. So as it's like sometimes lifts should be programmed effectively to collect the people. So at the time, this kind of diagrams will be much more helpful to explain when to come down. Sometimes, as per the building owners or the client needs, the lift company has to program.
Okay.
Sometimes the companies will be, that is the building contractor will be asking us to utilize these lift effectively because it consumes plenty of electricity. So the thing is, rather than initiating both lift for the people usage, they will be trying to use the one effectively during the off peak hours. So every client's needs, as per the needs, we have to come up with this kind of diagrams. So
Hmm.
here it says about programming a chess game here,
Yeah,
how to
I'm
start
just
the turn
champion.
of white.
I know, I understood the flow diagram.
Yeah. So let's sequence UML diagram. This is another one important area where excessively you'll be working on it. So check communication UML diagram. Okay. Okay. See, there are two types of BAs. One is technical BAs and then another one is standard BAs. As a technical
Another one?
BA, one is standard BA and the another one is technical
Technical
BA.
B.
Technical
Okay.
people who are promoted after, it's like there are plenty of developers who after serving a company or serving multiple companies for more than 6 to 8 years, they will be intending for career elevation, they will be choosing BA as the option.
Okay.
There are very few companies who will be calling for technical BAs. Not all companies. People at the moment, normally they don't advertise as technical BAs, but earlier times, 2 3 years before, I have seen many companies asking for technical BAs. Easy for them to communicate, explain to the technical team. If I would say normally for while starting the BA, starting a project, no technical BAs are required. But constant communication, once the basic infrastructure is set up, for better communication, technical BAs are required. They don't need to go in depth or in. It's like they don't need to go to the bottom of the technical part to explain, but basic things, basic conditions or advised. It's like few things, very basic queries they should be knowing. At least how a query should be placed, what is the short form or what are the different formats used for queries or for other programming signs. So if you look into the sequence diagram, it shows it's like this is it's like we are working in an e-commerce platform. We are trying to connect three major areas: shopping cart, order, and processing of the item. It's like if you try to, this is the first column is about actor. When an actor trying to contact or communicate with the shopping cart, it's like the additional process is create means it's like a sign up process, and order means it's like while processing the order we have to add the cumulative price. It's like there's a chance the actor might have picked up multiple products. We have to sum the total price has to be displayed in the order cart. So based upon the total, they will be calculating the individual item price, discount price, the shipping volume. Everything has to be calculated. So this is that we are trying to achieve a relationship between the all three pages: shopping cart, order, item, and the customer. We are technically trying to explain the developers. Sometimes the developers or the technical team will be well versed with the process, but as a BA, you need to explain them what sort of technical steps. It's like if you start working with the technical team for 6 months, you will start using technical jargons. These are the few technical jargons normally technical team will be using, like create, get total. These are the PHP terms: get total, total price. So it's with the experience you will start using this kind of jargons. So this is how the sequence diagram works. This is more for technical part. It's like you're trying to explain to a technical team in the technical jargons. This is also an extension of the activity, sorry, yeah, activity diagrams. If you look into the shape, it looks very similar to it, but this is a very simple thing. Like at the moment, had a chance of working. It's like we were implementing one product in. We were migrating one product from normal dedicated server to Amazon Web Services. So like
Okay.
I have to like understand what there are in. If you look into Amazon, there are tons and tons of different types of services available: queuing services, elastic services, load balancing services. I would say close to 500 and 500 plus services are there. So we have to understand at the time this is literally nothing. It's like a drop in an ocean. When I try to establish a sequence diagram with the infrastructure, I have to connect pages. I have to. It's like while communicating the data to the bank, we have to explain which sort of Amazon Web Services will be handling the data, what sort of encryption it will be taking forward. So it's like I will try to share the diagram. At the moment, I don't have it. It was with the previous company. I think I will with my friends. I will try to get that diagram.
Okay.
Okay, so this is about sequence. Communication comes under behavioral diagrams. Class also doesn't comes under behavioral diagrams. And I will stop with class diagram. Then we will go into UML diagrams. See, client diagram is also one thing which you will be continuously working in day-to-day life. It's like, for example, um, there will be some enhancement feature which the company will be asking you to work on. There will be few changes in the modification. I will come up with small explanation, a real-time example. So there is a chance every product, every services will be having a dedicated reporting page. The reporting page will be fetching information from the databases. You're not dealing databases in a very high level manner. It's like for making, it's like in case if you want to make any changes to the reporting, if you are changing any field or if you're hiding any fields from the front end diagrams, you have to mention. Sometimes you will be asked as per the demands of the product, as per the place where you are working. You have to explain what is the conditions involved. Or it's like if you're asked to work on a query, you're not asked to work straight away on the query. You have to explain how a query should be constructed or structured. You'll be asked to design a query, but they will be implementing it. But you have to come up with the document. What are the things the query will be covering? So at the time, query excessively works with the databases, right? So you have to mention which are the databases that we should be connecting. It's like connecting, balancing the databases from where we have to before while reporting from there will be plenty of DBs for a single product. From what are the different tables we should be bringing the data and displaying it them. So this is how this is not the representation. This diagram shows a client. A client has a data of name, social security number, address, employment. And for creating account, it's like we have to understand what type of account, what is the owner name, account number, routing number. I don't have what is routing number. Why routing number is the account number, or for doing any online transfer there will be some reference number, so that is called wire routing number. The AC I have no idea. So checking account, it's like for making transaction, does he have enough balance, withdrawal limit, and then we'll be checking it from the displaying. Sorry, we are displaying the values, balance, rate, maybe interest rate. This is how, in case if you work with the databases, this is the one diagram which you will be using it.
Okay.
Okay, the thing is, before working on it, you can interact with the developers, check with them, collect with them the list of tables, list of columns which are used in the databases. So you're
Okay.
not explaining within the name, there will be multiple parameters, strings, first name, last name, middle name. You're not mentioning all details, you're just mentioning name. Social security number also, it will be in the encrypted form. Even the developers or the DB specialist people cannot view the SSN number. Even the database, it will be displayed in an encrypted format. So they will be calling in a very different name. Just for the understanding, just the overall table name might be called might be called with SSN. That's the reason they have mentioned SSN. So out of all, in a nutshell, what I'm trying to tell is it's you don't require to understand the list of all columns, all technical names involved in it. Just for the basic understanding, to communicate in a better manner to the DB specialist people, you're coming up with class diagrams.
Okay.
Okay, so class diagrams are not meant for today's schedule, today's agenda. It comes under structural UML diagrams, class diagrams. So these all 7 diagrams we have covered. So at the moment, it's going to use case diagrams. Okay. Before that, Monish, did you try it on the day I try Thursday morning? I gave you one small
Yeah, I'll be submitting it
idea.
tomorrow. Tomorrow morning, I'll be
Okay,
sending
cool.
it.
No issues. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm making a two-page document, which has everything like scope and
Mhm.
everything. Like, tomorrow, I'll be sending it to you.
Okay. Did you had any difficulties while working on it?
No, I was like going through many documents. So like the topics, like there were a few things where it says priority, like what are the high priority ones, high priority function requirements, and coming to medium priority, low priority. But we haven't discussed anything about the priority things. And yeah, there are many. I went through a few companies. FRD. So I not I basically you told me to prepare a one-page document, right? My functional
Mm-hmm.
requirements are covering one page, but I need to write about the
Mm-hmm.
scope. I need to write about the summary for the like use case diagram also comes under that FRD, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah, so I don't know how to fit that in one page. So I'm making a FRD like which looks like how which looks the same way something like I'm taking one X company and I'm trying to
Mm-hmm.
create that. I think by tomorrow's class you should be able to get to
Mm-hmm.
that.
Okay, cool. No issues. Actually, the purpose of that exercise is not to go deep. We don't need to work in priorities.
Oh,
It's
okay,
like
I
in
thought
case if the company, it's like I will also explain about priorities. Priorities is it's like as per the company's requirement, you can work on the priorities, but I don't think priorities is not always required.
And coming to
So
the
it's
assumptions, and as we talked, the assumptions are like what I assume, right? But I haven't spoken anything to the client, whatever he needs. So I need to like see if I speak with the client, I know what he wants, and this would be my assumption because you told me to create the documents, but I did not speak with the client, so I need to come with the requirements which I make in my mind, and I need to come with the assumption which I assume. That's all right.
yeah, but yes, of course, 100% right. But it's like
Mhm.
we cannot discuss with the client for this kind of pages. It's like you have to come up with the input because you cannot explain them. For example, login page has multiple features. As per the UI, you will be explaining the recommends involved in that page. It's not based upon the client's recommend. Client will be saying, I need a valid, tangible login page, easy, user-friendly, user and user-friendly
So
page.
he will not tell
That's
that
it.
the throughput time for the login page should be like
No,
0.33 milliseconds, and the characters in the username should not exceed. So he'll not come up with all those things. He'll simply
nope.
vaguely say that I need a login page. That's all.
That's it. It's like if it's
So it's
like
all about
normally.
the business analysts who go with the suggestions or saying that like the username should be only like alphanumerical, that too it should not exceed 10 characters. So all this is done by business analysts, right?
Yeah, normally these kinds decisions are taken by BAs. So
Okay.
depending again, this varies according to the company. Yes,
Okay.
sorry to interrupt.
I thought this client says that I need these parameters, and this is should be of this length and the password should be this strong. So I thought those are the all those will be told by the client, and we need to follow the instructions. I never thought that BS would be doing this thing.
What you're saying is partially right, depending upon the company. They definitely, when the client is paying millions to the service-based company, there will be a dedicated IT person who will be working on it. Even they will be assigning another BA to communicate between BA or to the other company. They will be preparing another BRD document. They will be having another expectation. In case
Okay.
it's not mandatory for them to cover every time
Mm.
this kind of information. If the particular BA is so exceptionally good if he has a very good experience, he will be mentioning the time frame. He will be explaining the waterfall, what are the list of things that should be happening in the login page, what sort of security, what sort of SSL certificate they should be preparing,
Mm.
what would be the responsive how the responsive should be looking. It's like they may be using multiple product, multiple application within the company. They'll be having multiple vendor. So with their experience, they will be trying to, in case they will be having some benchmark, so there is a chance they can come up with this kind of information. But
Okay.
it's not mandatory. You cannot expect every time from the clients.
No, I thought
So
each
it's,
and
yeah.
everything they would be giving, we need to just list the things. No, I got an idea. Like we need to do a lot of
Mhm.
research on that. Okay.
Normally it's not required. It's like initially you'll be coming up with this kind of solutions by yourself. In case if there is a chance of deviation, technical team can change it any time. And once you complete the documentation, you will be confirming, verifying with the client team also.
Okay.
Client team means, yeah, of course, the external stakeholders. The
Okay.
time they'll be looking into these details. It's like with the experience of automatically you'll be including this kind of high level points.
Okay.
So yeah, it's like that is the reason normally BAs are required to work in one industry area. When they try to switch to multiple areas, it's Greek and Latin for them to understand the existing process. A healthcare BA will be struggling with the insurance. Another L&D is learning and management related. BAs will be struggling with both healthcare and insurance. That is the reason the companies are so specific to hire domain-wise BAs.
Okay.
So yeah. Other than that, what else? Yeah, let's see. Let's see. Once you come up with the documents, you don't need to go very high level.
Okay.
I just want to see. It's like how depth you can go ahead. That's
Yeah.
the
By
reason
tomorrow,
I
sir,
came up
I'll
with the
let you the
exercise.
document. Yeah.
So like there are plenty of conditions involved in it. See, more than technical details, the key thing. It's like you might have heard about 80 to 20% rule. So it's like 20% is it's like technical specification. There will be enough technical people involved in the team who will be taking care of this kind of information.
Yeah. Right.
If the client insists, you should be more focused on this kind of time frames per page login. It's like, for example, while searching normal time frame to display the result is 300 milliseconds. These are the standard procedures involved. It's like you can include this is advice. This is appreciable, but not required. But the most important thing is knowing the conditions, knowing when to trigger error messages. These things is the 80%. These conditions consumes 80% of a BA work, not the technical specification. It's good. There is nothing wrong, but your focus should be more on the conditions
Okay.
than on the technical aspect involved in it.
Yeah. Like I think when I was learning this performance testing, yeah, I think the trainer was telling me that the client might say that my login page or once the payment is done, the successful payment confirmation pop-up should be coming in like around like you said 300 milliseconds or something like that. So they said that the requirements the requirements are given by the like he says that I need all those things. So I thought all this will be done by the client, nothing to do with the PA. But right now I realize that these are the suggestions given by the BAs to the company, and if the company acknowledges that they need this, then we convey the same thing to developers, and they go forward. Otherwise,
Mhm. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Some clients will be so involved. They are they may be from technical background. Not it's like it's not required they to be in from technical background. Some will be it's like depending upon the company. If it's going to be a big MNC, definitely there is a very less chance, 5% chance you will be directly interacting with the clients. So there will be some senior BAs who will be taking care of the major requirements. Then they'll be sharing, assigning you some minor tasks. If it's a small company, you will be the front face of the company. So at the time, so what I'm trying to tell is at the time you'll be facing plenty of interesting clients. So those clients will be directly involved in every step, every process. They will try to sit down with the documentation, especially when you work with Western people, they will be more interested in coming up with documentation. Even they themselves will be preparing some 100 page, 200 pages document related to the recommends. They even be not even be that much bothered about the images. Some clients I have seen they'll be having a UI developers or UI front end UI designers. They themselves will be choosing or deciding what sort of UI they require, what sort of frameworks or what sort of structure the UI should be following. So it varies. There is no fixed protocol. What we are doing is just trying to narrow it down. What are the areas that you will be covering? So as per your experience, you will be learning every day from the people, from the IT team, technical information. So life is all about learning process.
Okay.
Priority, it's like when you're working on product, yes, of course, you have to mention the priority, but priority not all times.
Okay.
It's like setting up like algorithms. Yeah, let's get into priorities also in future. It's
Yeah.
we'll have. When coming to use cases diagrams,
Yeah.
so it's like there are four major elements involved in it. The first one is box, which we call it as a system. It's like every time when you draw a system boundaries, so using a rectangle that contains the use cases, normally the actors are outside the system boundaries.
Okay.
So a box is called a system, and every system should have a system name. You don't need to call it in a real-time names or just mention in case if you are using a server. Server is the boundary means just mention the server or infrastructure. You don't need to name it precisely. A basic understanding, a easy to refer names should be mentioned over there. Use cases, the oval diagrams are called use cases. It's like normally it is in oval shape. You can label them with the verbs that represent the system functions, the functionality, and the functionalities can be named as per the what functions they are performing. So in a nutshell, it's like a circle, oval shaped uh, shapes are called use cases in these diagrams. So again, the third one is actors. So you don't need to segregate them based on the gender. It's like you can call them actor, and they'll be having a generic name customer. Sometimes in banking areas, you'll be having a multiple actors, so who oversees the process. So as per the company's needs, the actor name also varies. Standard one used in IT companies is customer, client, or end users. These are the very standard actor names which we have. So it's like when one system is the actor, the another one sorry when one system is the actor of another system, label the another system with actor stereotype. It's like as per the process what they are involved, we have to name it accordingly. In a previous example, we saw that we were looking into the inventory management software. So it had a plenty of actors starting from owner, supplier, inventory manager, then checking inspector, then another distribution guy, marketing guy, etc. So as per the role which they are working on or related to that process, name it accordingly. So the third is, sorry, the final fourth one is relationship arrow marks. So it includes normally by standard it uses only two things: include, exclude. so include and extend. But I have I have seen multiple people, even including me, using multiple relationship as per the needs. We have used exclude also. What else then? There are plenty of things. Is as per the demands of the uh, s- process. You can use any names for the relationship. So this is about, these are the four things you have to be keeping in mind. One is system name, use case. It's like either system name or called a system. The second one is use cases. The third one is actors. Fourth one is a relationship.
Mm.
So it's like initially we can use like initially I assigned you a diagram. Initially I assigned you an exercise for collecting requirements related to login page. The same way you can try. Before that I will give you example also. You can try sorry, okay, what sort of uh, use case diagram should be implemented for a login and sign up page. So
Okay.
back to that example. Do you see my UML tag? Oh, just a moment. Let me open it. Please hold on a moment. I use a tool called draw.io. So I'm trying to open it. It's not opening.
I think you showed me the other day.
That's called Balsamic. That's a wireframe tool. This is there are plenty of tools called Smart Draw, Lucid Draw, Draw.io, and then user diagrams. There are plenty of companies available.
Why we use MS Visio? That's for use case?
See, Microsoft offers two different types of visual for drawing visuals. They offer two different types of softwares. One is Visio, and the other one is MS Project. Visio, Visio, BAs normally use Visio, and project management teams uses MS Project. It doesn't mean that you shouldn't be using on MS Project. Both or flowchart. They includes plenty of diagrams, plenty of shapes, plenty of extensions are there. Depending upon the requirements, you can use Visio covers all sort of diagrams. Any shape can be bespokely created. It includes plenty of UML diagrams. It has plenty of templates, standard templates in it. So using that, it would be easy to create. But normally, why companies normally medium range of startup company don't use this? Uh, it's like we cannot easily get the crack version. Then it's a premium service. That's the reason they don't use Visio. Other than that, there are plenty of cloud-based softwares which are available,
Okay.
free or even for lesser subscriptions, even more interactively they are working. That is the reason initially for only 1 year I worked with Visio. Other times we use even much more lightweight versions of Visio tools.
Okay.
So I will list out what are the tools which we will be working, list of freewares, other major popular tools which BAs work. Okay, just a moment. Okay. So could you see this is called draw.io. It offers two different types of application. One is cloud-based application. The other one is desktop-based application. If you
Okay.
look in the reason why I prefer draw.io is it covers, this is very similar to Visio. So let's
Okay.
go to,
That's an open source, right?
sorry?
That's an open source.
Yeah, it's a open source, but anytime I'm sure they'll be making as a premium version. It's like a paid version. They'll be converting it very shortly. I would say within a year or a couple of years.
Oh,
Because with the number of people using it, uh, definitely, most likely they'll be making it as a paid version.
okay.
So if you look into here, it's like what are the elements which are relevant for UML diagrams are listed in shapes.
Okay.
There will be even much more templates in will be here. MIS. So
So
this
this
is for class diagrams.
diagram
Sorry,
Word document,
sorry, come again. I didn't get.
like so you're using this drawdown IO tool, right? So you'll be copying the diagrams into Word document or
I'll be exporting it.
exporting. Okay, fine.
Yeah, it offers PNG option, JPEG, plenty of versions. Normally, I export in PNG so that immediately easy for me to incorporate in any documents
Okay,
rather than using other formats.
okay,
If sometimes some technical team will be asking you questions, they'll be struggling to understand the document. At the time, what you can do is come up with the easy diagrams using this tool and export in PDF, share it with them easily,
okay,
more professional. So that's it. This is how it works. So in case if I really want to share you the file, I can share it as a file also. URL
okay,
based. URL is for cloud based services. If I have come up with one draw.io, it's a draft copy. You
okay,
may be my colleague, so at the time you may take over the work from me. At the time, I will be sharing as a URL or XML file. You can import it. You can using the file which I have shared it with you. You can import and you can start working on it immediately.
okay. Good, good, good.
So there are plenty of libraries. The reason is now most of the companies are breaking their head with AWS. It's like it has a
Okay.
lot of elements related to AWS. I will just show you. For example, it's like there are currently, if you look into the sidebar, there are by default there are three panels which are displayed. Since we have chosen the UML, it is showing UML related shapes here in the panel. This default by default it will be showing general, miscellaneous, and the advanced. So in case if we, as per our requirements, we can include multiple panels here just by clicking more dot shapes. If you're working in an Android based application, just it will be more helpful for you by choosing it. It will list out the shapes which are relevant for VAs who are working for an Android project. It will show you what sort of portrait view here. Portrait view you can explain here using Ballspeak. You can come up with the wireframes here. You can come up with the mock-up where the login page should be there. Sometimes in case if you want to share any diagram with the UI, you'll be giving, it's like you're not only restricted to work with the developers, you have to instruct the UI team also in the initial stages. For them, since you have interacted, you cannot come up with the precise um, you may not have a good experience in user experience, so but user experience has to be decided by the UI team. You have to explain how a basic UI should be working. It's like if you're working in a login page, you need to explain them that there should be a button in the top right, sign in, sign up. You can put it in a text, a rough text, so that easy for them to understand what are the functionalities that particular page should handle. So these are the list of shapes available within the Android features.
Okay.
So it's like if you're including this, you can encircle this particular center icon so that when a user clicks, what sort of next step should handle. So these are the multiple steps, multiple shapes which are available. This is a time, a button. It's like you definitely you'll be working these kind of things. It's like in case if you get a chance, I'm saying for working for Android, you'll be explaining what would be the off state, what would be the on state, what would be the functionally what the front end should happen with by turning on that particular feature. What would be the display feature when the particular button is turned off? So how what user will be seeing when this feature is turned off? So easy for you to come up with diagrams using this tool. That is why I'm explaining. So this is for signing up, or once you sign up, you will be seeing a my profile, right? There will be a top in the top right hand side. You will be seeing my profile for an e-commerce site. in that there is a chance it shows the personas. There is a chance sometimes the customers will be replacing the default personas with the personal photos. So for the understanding of the UI team or for your technical team, you can use this kind of images. So it
Okay.
shouldn't be correct, but just for making them understand, you can use this kind of images.
Okay.
These are scrolls. I don't know what is meant by normal. Okay. One is portrait mode, landscape mode, because as per the dimension of the phone, the application size, ordering of the elements will be varying. So at the time, this kind of shapes will be helpful to communicate with the UI team. Same way, one hot thing normally uses iOS. Same way, if I click iOS related element will be immediately imported in the side panel. Using that, any people, it is not only restricted for you, even other team members can use this draw.io. So,
So where did you click to get this box?
click more shapes.
Okay. Okay. Gotcha.
It will show what category should be displayed in the sidebar panel.
Okay.
Sometimes
I
a
got.
person who works on infrastructure is nowhere related to iOS or Android. It is unnecessary waste of occupying the spaces. The real estate is important in every space, in every area. Of course, you have to use the sidebar panel effectively. That is the reason they are offering a customized way of choosing the category which we prefer or which we are into it. So
Hmm.
I have selected Azure earlier. For example, if I want to select AWS 17. I have selected three different categories in under networking, so it
Okay.
will be displayed.
Okay.
So everything related to AWS will be imported or displayed in the sidebar.
Okay.
So this many things are available there. So
Can you
for
show me
example,
one use case here?
sorry, yeah, use case, yeah, of course, but I'm just first I'm explaining this tool.
Tool.
Since
Okay.
it
Okay.
is a free tool, you can start working on it. You can it
Right. I
hardly
just
it
saw
takes
it.
only 16, yeah, 16 to 17 MB. Initially, I think it was 17 MB. I don't remember. It's like it takes hardly 5 minutes for you to install this application in your system.
Yeah.
In case if you don't want to install, you can use the cloud version of it.
Yeah.
So it's like a diagram. There are few standard ways of using this chart, but it cannot play around only with those principles or the definitions. By definition, activity diagrams should be used only by the only for the by the management team, only for knowing the business process. You are supposed to draw those kind of activity diagrams, but you cannot restrict yourself only for knowing the BPM. So as per the needs and as per the way, as per the effective communication, you can be you can be more creative and you can incorporate that detail in multiple areas rather than putting those information in activity diagram. If you look into it, we had some oval or box shaped images in the columns. Why don't you go for images or personas? It will be giving you a more personalized look, easy for communicate, easy for the people to relate to the real-time life. That is the reason I'm showing this kind of images, this list of icons which are used.
Okay.
See, rather than just typing in SQL, what if you're putting it in an icon shape? It would be easy for them to relate it, right? That is the reason these many icons are available.
Okay.
Okay. You can click, this is a Dropbox icon. So you can use a shape, and under in that shape you can just type in as Dropbox, but it won't be more personalized. If you have icon and under the icon, if you type in Dropbox with some account name, it will be more easy for them to understand, easy for them to follow what you are trying to explain through that visual representation. That's
Okay.
the purpose of it. So this is these icons are standard icons used in Azure process. Everything, even including the colors, are taken from the Azure cloud services. Sorry. So these are the list of services normally Amazon provides Elastic services. So rather than mentioning just Elastic services, we are using the genuine real-time icon which are followed by Amazon Web Services.
Okay.
So easy for them in case normally companies hire a consultant to implement cloud services. This is one of the top three hot jobs at the moment: cloud-based services, AI, automation. So it's like when you are working closely with the infrastructure team, it's like they will be asking you to communicate few things to the technical team. At the time, implementing this kind of images will be so good. So yeah, that's it. Let's go to user case diagrams. Can we, for a demo purpose, can we try to incorporate an e-commerce website process in this use case so that you
Okay.
can easily follow it? Yeah.
So you took this from general, not from the UML, right? Oval shape.
Yep, this kind of things I took it from the general things.
Okay.
Yes.
And in UML, you don't have that. Hmm.
The connectors, relationship icons, boundary line. So it has these are the elements related to UML diagrams. So this
Okay.
was we discussed for class diagrams we were using. I didn't go through the object diagrams. Object diagrams in future we'll be working on it. If you look into it, object will be having a different types. This is for explaining or while working on the database related things, you can use this kind of class names. Sometimes you'll be working right now APIs everywhere, everyone is using APIs. It is more simplified version, it is easy for the developers to work on. It's like there are tons and tons of advantages when using APIs. So it's like APIs will be having there are plenty of API calls are available. We don't allow APIs to connect. It's like we will be restricting APIs to connect only with few tables or few columns. So if you want to explain this thing to your developers, certainly the class diagrams will be used. At the time, you have to mention which field should be connected to the another table. It's like, for example, there will be you might have seen location while filling up forms, maybe for example an e-commerce page itself, or during the shipping page you will be typing in the shipping address. So the moment you start typing in the first three characters, it will be showing up, it will be auto filling and showing up the suggestions based upon the first three characters you have typed. For example, if you're typing in Georgia, the moment you start typing GEO, it will be showing the list of addresses related to Georgia. Or if you type in Edison, Edison is a place in New Jersey, it will be showing some related address to it.
Yeah.
So these informations are connected to Google. So these informations are pulled from the Google Maps.
Yeah.
So you are not asking, you are not connecting the APIs to other columns. only to the field called location or address. So for example, this is the class name. It shows a field type. So instead of field type, you will be mentioning as field location, and you'll be connecting with the dotted line saying that in the name of the API, Google will be having a name for every single APIs which you are using. I have to mention like that in a dotted lines. Just for demo purpose, I'm showing. So normally we are connecting an API, there won't be another class name. We'll be connecting it to in a different box. You won't be mentioning any class related. I'll be mentioning just like that. Google Maps. This is how we connect from the Google Maps API. This particular field will be connected and it will be updating Google Maps sorry, location. So normally we work on
Okay.
it. We'll look into it definitely.
The dotted line is
So,
called as the connector, right?
exactly.
Hello?
Hello, yeah, I'm available. Just a moment. So, if are you, hello, are you? Could you see? Could you able to see my screen?
No, it's not moving. That's the reason I told you.
Okay.
Yeah, now it's moving. Yeah.
Okay, this is called the use case, and we are adding first the name of the actor is. This is very similar to Word. Anytime you can look into this. These are the toolbars. So this is for deleting. This is for changing the alignment, changing the order of the elements. So it's in case if I want to move this particular element to the back, I'll be using this one to back. And so like you will be using multiple layers. This is for adding colors. So
Okay.
this is very similar to this. This doesn't require additional information. People who are good at with Word can anytime easily follow in it. So let's see. This acronym is. So first, let's narrow it down. What are the list of process involved? Okay, let's see the process. Or first one is landing page. second one is second page as view products or browsing product. Products or departments.
So you're doing Control C and Control V for the copying the above thing?
Exactly. Yep. Control C and Control V. Normal shortcuts.
Okay.
Today I will go through this example. Tomorrow another interesting example is how a credit card transaction is processed. That is a bit complicated, so that easy for you to understand how the use cases diagrams are designed. This is this is a very normal average process which we use in our day-to-day life. So that
Okay.
I'm coming to this case.
Okay.
There are different types of relations are there. When we are using multiple categories at the time, we can use this kind of. Currently, I have hovered on relationship. It shows parent and child. So that while naming this kind of relationship images, can easily name it accordingly. For
Okay.
example, when you're running an e-commerce site, there will be a category called women's session or men's session, or under men's session, you'll be having a multiple child categories called trousers, shirts,
Yeah.
shoes. So this it's like easy for you to name
Yeah.
accordingly. Okay. So let me use. So currently we have to name accordingly. Number one, the first process would be landing page. Either he'll be getting landed through Google or in different methods. While he may be browsing for a product in Google, once he clicks the first link or any links available in the Google search page results, there's a chance he get landed into that particular website. He lands, he browse for products immediately. It's like no, there is very few people who will be immediately placing the orders. Before placing orders, he'll be looking into other options. He'll be comparing the same product with the other models. So the second process involves browsing products. So there should be some dotted lines between Using a basic arrow here.
So there are different type of arrows, right? So all are the same, or they are different significance?
Nope, everyone will be having a different functionality. As of now, I'm just going to use a basic arrow depending upon the areas where we use. I will explain what are the list of arrows available. Relationship dotted line has different functionals. Steady strong line have a different functions. When we have two different dots in the both the direction, it has a different functions.
Okay.
So we'll be having a center square box in few types of arrow. So it will be explaining. As of now, for this function, it is not that much challenging case. For just for basic understanding, I'm explaining you with the very standard arrows used. So for the next case, I will explain. Before looking into the next cases, I will be explain what are the types of arrows used, where it can be used, what are the functional areas they can be used.
Okay.
Using mouse, that's the reason. Not that much easy for me to use with the trackpad. Expected to be before drawing, I will explain who are the other different types of actors who will be involved in it. It's
Okay.
like let's say assume that currently he has successfully landed in that page and made a transaction. The other actors who involved are maybe banking, that is payment gateway, and the manager. Manager has to be notified once the order is being placed so that he can work on the shipping part. And it's like the moment there will be it's like the manager can be one actor and there will be inventory manager. For example, the particular product available in the web page will be having a quantity of 2. So the
Okay.
moment the order is being placed, the inventory number has to come down from number 2 to number 1. It's
Okay.
like according to the quantity, the particular inventory manager has to be informed. He has to be sent a mail, urgent, important mail about the reduction in inventory so that he can plan accordingly. So that either he can mention out of stock for the future customers, or else he can order for the subsequent or the additional stocks for the future customers who can for delivering for serving the future customers in a better manner. So the first uh, actor, I'm going to name it as inventory manager. The manager who will be, it's like you can call them as manager or supervisor as per the client uses the term. So mark him as manager who will be following up the order, tracking, shipping, and who runs the order process is called, currently we are naming him as manager.
Okay.
Banking. the reason why I have used this kind of icon here is I'll be mentioning here this is a one-way communication. This will be just showing acknowledgement whether in binary zeros or ones. It will be showing whether the transaction has been completed or not. If successfully completed, it will be showing a success message with the welcome or some thanks message. Else it will be showing in a red line, red text, sorry, the transaction has been failed. Sorry, the arrow mark has to be reversed way around.
You live in Chennai?
Sorry,
You live in Chennai?
I live in Bangalore.
Bangalore, okay, fine.
Yeah, Bangalore. Where you live in US?
Huh?
In which state do you live in
Yes.
US? Sorry?
Virginia,
Oh, Virginia. Okay.
near capital, Washington, D.C.
Okay. So I think most of the times the climate will be a bit bad, extreme cold sometimes.
Yeah, I studied my MBA in Florida, so I like Florida. It would be same like typical uh,
Yeah. It's,
tropical climate, same as in India. So I always prefer Florida.
okay. One of the posh, highly high density population lives there. I think one of the deciding states.
Yeah.
But I think there are plenty of IT companies, technological companies are in California,
Mm.
Chicago,
Mm.
Georgia.
Yeah, yeah, right. So I'm inclined more towards health sector because right now I have 2 years of experience in tech health side. So I know different technologies and
Mhm.
I can even brainstorm uh, the hiring people with different technologies.
Yeah,
So
exactly.
something like banking or something like the new thing, for me it's new. So they might be asking like few questions. So for me, so I'm towards like, so I might put,
At least initially, while entering into position, you need to choose the comfortable field where you are good at.
yeah.
That's true. This is rough. I have to improvise in a better manner. As of now, just for today's understanding, I will explain how it works. Maybe tomorrow I will explain with individual arrow marks. Everything has, for example, few pages the customers are not allowed. For at the time, we'll be using X mark in it. And where a customer or any new actor has a dual way access, we'll be using a different types of two-sided arrow marks. So just for as of today's understanding, I have come up with this bit complicated arrow marks. Tomorrow I'll be using my mouse. I'm a bit finding it hard to pick every single arrow marks
Okay, okay,
with my trackpad. Okay. Tomorrow I will look into the arrows. So at the moment, let me explain what are the connections, what are the relationship between the customer actor and the list of pages available in an e-commerce page. So currently, he will be having a direct access to every single pages in the front end page, landing page, browsing page, viewing products, add to cart, sign up page, process transaction, and followed by acknowledgement page, and then a tracking page, a dedicated tracking page where he'll be finding what's the process of his shipping. So the other than customers, who the other actors involved in this picture are inventory managers, payment gateways, that is banks, shipping company will not be having other access to heal the shipping. I haven't put up any arrow mark. Tomorrow I will explain you with in interactive arrow marks. The shipping company will be having access only to the shipping module, only if the order is being successfully processed, acknowledged by the manager. The shipping company will be given access to what type of quantity the product, what is the quantity, and the number of inventories that they are supposed to be delivered. So they'll be involving in shipping. So regularly they have to keep them posted on the tracking process involved in the work. Other than that, payment gateway actors are involved in validating the banking information which are triggered from the website. They'll be sharing the either, for example, assume that the customer has typed in the credit card or debit card information. They have to validate if the particular account have enough balance. If it successfully clears, immediately the transaction is approved by the payment gateway companies. So the acknowledgement, sorry, it's a single it's a one-way communication. It's like, for example, if you look into the transactions, if you look into the relationship of these two particular modules, is if in the transaction page the data is safely communicated or sent to the payment gateway to validate, and once they detect the amount from the particular bank, they will be acknowledging, or either acknowledgement in terms of both transaction failure or success, and as per the outcome of the acknowledgement, the further shipping process will be processed. So this is how this is not the exact way it looks. The arrow mark has to be completely reshuffled. It has to be put up as per the standardization which we follow in UML diagrams. Today, let's just have a overview how a diagram, use case diagram looks. Tomorrow, I will bit go deep into use case diagrams. Okay.
okay,
Okay, let's try not to get confused with this diagram. Just tomorrow I will get a bit go deep into it.
okay.
Try to focus on that previous exercise. So once tomorrow I come up with high level use case diagrams, I will give you one small exercise related to use case diagrams alone. We will be more focus on uh, activity diagrams, use case diagrams, class name diagrams. The other one is another one is systematic. I'm just looking into the PPT
Okay.
sequence diagrams. So these are the excessively activity diagrams will be used, followed by use case diagrams, class name diagrams, and sequence diagrams will be used. So tomorrow we will be having a dedicated class on use case images. I will try to go in depth on use case diagrams. Then Monday we'll try to explain on our rest of the three diagrams. Okay. Till
Okay.
now, do you have any questions related to that?
No.
Okay, I'll go deep tomorrow. Other than that, that's it. In case I will share you the PPT, what are the diagrams available? What are the functional perspective of every diagrams for your understanding once after the call. Okay,
Okay.
yeah,
I'll
that's it from the day. Yeah,
yeah,
from me.
I'll complete the that BID document and I'll show you tomorrow.
Okay. Okay, we'll try to focus more on the conditions.
Yeah,
The
sure.
timing is always good. It's like you're going a bit deep, trying to understand what are the other areas that are involved in that
Yeah,
particular page.
I was doing
But
the
I,
research, like for example, coming to the priority thing. So they said like some companies say that remember my username. That's not a priority thing, and that I symbol that's not a priority thing. So priority thing is like those come under the priority level, like medium. So what I went through the BI documents of many companies, I went through companies. So priority is one of the factors which we need to consider while segregating the requirement. That's what I came to know when I was looking to different documents.
see, priority, if you're marking priority, it's like you're asking the technical team to choose. They are not supposed to decide. You are deciding, they are just blindly they are supposed to follow the instructions which you are preparing. It's the Bible for both testing QA department and uh, a development team. So I don't know for what reason they have mentioned priorities over there.
Okay.
If you're including save password, they'll be following. If you're excluding that from the document, they are not going to follow. They'll be showing the hands on you, saying that the document doesn't mention save feature in the document.
No,
So it's like
priority one, priority, for example, priority level high, the priority is divided into three categories. Level one is high, medium, and low. So what I understood was like the team first will uh, come up with like they start working on the priority level high, then they'll go with medium, then they'll go with low. So it's not like that, or I don't know how it's working in the real scenarios.
normally prioritization of the work is done by project management team. They
Okay.
will be as a project manager, they will be segregate work on the priorities based upon the available time frame. So it's up to them to decide which one to work at what priority. But
Okay.
till date, it's like normally BS do priority on backlogs of the work, not on the features. In case if you are giving the input or recommends or user stories to your team, you are not supposed to decide which one to work first and which one to be given least priority. So maybe you might have seen it's like normally if you're sharing documents with your project management team, they give their input, they'll be adding few documents or few instructions to the document. It's like you won't be sharing the document directly with the developers. They
Okay.
will be they will be compiling, they will be verifying, few things will be out of scope. As a BA, you will not be completely getting into the technical part. Easy
Okay.
for you to come up with the recommends, but few things are so hard to achieve in real time. So they'll be after discussing with you, there is a chance they can exclude few recommends suggested by you. So
Okay.
at the time they will be coming up with priorities, but nope, you cannot set in the priorities
Okay.
100% sure.
Okay. I got
Okay.
it.
Yeah, thank you. Tomorrow we'll focus on the use case diagrams.
Okay. No.
So I will share you the draw.io link and the PPT for your understanding.
Okay.
Okay.
So tomorrow also
Yep,
we're meeting
that's
at the
it.
same time, right?
Sorry.
Tomorrow also we're meeting at the same time.
Meeting at the same time, yes.
Okay.
Monday we won't be having the class. Tomorrow
Okay.
I will schedule 2 hours class. The thing is, Monday morning I'll be reaching around around 6 o'clock to Bangalore IST. So that is the reason I may not be able to handle this session on Monday. Tomorrow we'll be having same time 2 hours continuously. Is that fine for you?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah, fine. Okay, 2 hours we'll have a session tomorrow. Other than that, Tuesday we'll be continuing the class. Tomorrow we'll focus on use case diagrams full time, and then Tuesday we will be completing other diagrams involved in UML.
Okay, fine.
Okay, yeah. Thank you.
Okay.
Bye. Yeah. Have a good day. Have a good weekend too.
You too, bye.
See you tomorrow. Yeah.